It's time now for the business news with Madison Reedy. Madison, A2 Milk. So they've put out a forecast, have they? But a bit of a surprise in it?
Yeah, there is. So the specialty dairy company A2 Milk is now expecting its revenue for just the first half of this financial year to be between $780 million and $800 million. Now, I repeat, that is just for 6 months. And that's because they're expecting increased sales growth of up to 84% in China and up to 110% in the United States. Now, that's after it's hiked prices for some of its products in those markets, and also after it's spent more money on marketing in both of those markets too. Now, it's quite funny actually, this comes after investors actually started selling out of A2 Milk on the NZX after its last profit result because they were pretty unhappy with the amount of money that A2 said it was going to start investing in its marketing in those markets. Today, after this forecast, they've now come running back to A2 and started buying up its shares. Now, that's sent A2 Milk's share price soaring, closed up 10% at $14.12.
Interesting. Okay, so Napier Port has had its first financial result as a listed company, isn't it? And what does that tell us?
Yeah, so Napier Port listed early this year in August. Only a partial listing though, 45% of the company. The rest was retained by the Hawke's Bay Regional Council and also Napier Port's staff and local iwi as well. Now, its first result as a public company was pretty good compared to the forecasts that it gave when it did list in its IPO documents in August. But it's not so great compared to its last year's result when it was a private company. Now, its net profit was down 61% to $6.8 million. That was 21% ahead of its forecast in those documents. Now, that's after it spent $6.5 million on the costs associated with listing and changing up its capital structure. Its revenue was up almost 9% to just under $100 million, and that's because its cargo and container volumes also increased, and the number of cruise ships also coming to the port rose as well.
Interesting. Hey, NZME, so the Herald, as we know it, is looking at buying stuff. Are they going to be able to do that? This is, obviously a contracting media market, arguably. What are we hearing?
Yeah, exactly. So we actually haven't heard much. In fact, we hadn't heard anything here at RNZ until NZME dropped an NZX announcement this afternoon at around 2 o'clock. Now, that was after a bit of media speculation seen around. And I'll read out the NZX announcement, or part of it. They said, NZME confirms that it is in discussions with Stuff's owners 9 and has put a proposal to the government regarding a possible transaction. However, NZME notes that these discussions are preliminary and stresses that no decision has been made in relation to any potential transaction. Now, Stuff itself is reporting that NZME is in talks with the government to get what's called a Kiwi share arrangement. That's a sort of contractual agreement between the Crown and a company to make sure that even if a company goes private and is in private hands, that the Crown can still maintain its social objectives. Now, it did this with Telecom, which is now called Spark, back when it went private in 1990. Now, I can't stack up that speculation myself, but the NZME would need some sort of solid workaround here to be able to buy Stuff, because if you'll remember, when it tried to merge with Stuff back in 2016, that was voted down by the Commerce Commission and they canned the idea in May 2017. And their reasoning for that was because they said that it would substantially lessen competition in New Zealand's media market. Although that was under the former Commerce Commission chair, Mark Berry. He's now no longer there, so maybe the Commerce Commission will have a different view this time around.
What else has been happening on the markets today?
The NZX Top 50 index closed up just 0.2%, so that's a rise of 19 points to close at 10,892. The New Zealand dollar, that's buying at 63.9 US cents, 94 to the Australian and 49.3 British pence.
Thanks, Madison. Madison Reedy with our business news.